Hi guys, hopefully you can ignore the cluttered backdrop. I just wanted to make a little video about a program that I think might interest some people, and I was going to make an announcement, but I figured it would be easier to just make a little video that people can watch, and if you have additional questions or are interested, you can always contact me with your questions or whatever. So there's a 2-year program called the Catechetical Institute. It's run by Jeff Cavins, and over the course of 2 years, you read the entire catechism, and then you get to hear speakers that are experts on the topics, and you just learn so much about your faith. So if you want to take another step in your faith and really understand what the church teaches, why it teaches it, and go on this journey, it's such a good program. And I guess I just want to talk a little bit about how it's set up and what it is. So it is a 2-year program. There are 4 modules, so think of those as semesters. And each module costs $300, so there is an expense, but I mean, compared to some college stuff, I mean, I think it's worth it. You learn so much. And so it's 2 years, 4 modules. You read a quarter of the catechism each module. So in the fall of 1 year, you would learn about, let's see, so the profession of faith, so what we believe in the creed. And then the next module, you'll learn about the sacraments and what the church teaches on the sacraments and the role of the sacraments in the church. And then section 3 is about living the faith. So you've got things like the 10 Commandments, just lots of really solid things like why does the church teach what it does on social issues. And then the 4th module is Christian prayer, which is actually absolutely phenomenal. That's the one I'm in right now. And you just learn so much. Like, who knew there was so much to learn about prayer? And you really, really grow in your faith life. It's such a great program. So I would encourage people to look into it. If you want to look at it more online, you can type in cistudent.com. But you can always direct questions to me because I don't know how informative the website is all in all. A lot, I would say, some things right off the bat. So a lot of people that do this program are like grandparents or like people between ages 50 and 80 who just want to really grow in their faith, but it is for all ages. There are young people in the program. While we are a small percentage, we are definitely there, and it's so cool learning from other people at different stages in life and going on this faith journey with them. How the program is set up, so what the commitment is that you sign up per module, and you need a copy of the catechism, as well as or at least it's highly recommended that you also have, there's a supplemental book, I'll have to look that up, what it's called exactly. And then for each module, think of it as a semester, you'll get one of these, a workbook. And so every week you have a homework assignment. We meet once a week in person, and then there's a homework assignment. The homework assignment is pretty simple, especially for anyone who's in a college class. Like, it's pretty simple. It's really just reading a section of the catechism, an assigned section, and then let's just look at one of these. So then you'll have your workbook that you just read a short intro, and then when you open it up, it'll tell you what to read for that week. There's only a few that are required, and then there's like suggested readings. So those are totally optional. And just to make sure that you're really taking in the information, they ask some questions. So it's really just the homework assignments are almost completely reading and answering a few questions, and you are simply graded on completion. That's all. There's no A, B, C, none of that. As long as you do the homework, you get credit. And then when we when we meet, at least the program I'm doing, which is taught at the University of St. Thomas, we meet on Monday nights from 7 to about 9. And we start out in small groups, so each module you get assigned a small group of maybe like 8 to 12 people, and you just get to work together. So when you come in, you have 45 minutes of small group. That is where you go over your book and you discuss what you learned with your fellow students and just things that stood out to you, and it's really a wonderful time to learn from each other and develop new insights. And after that, the program I'm in, you go into the auditorium because it's at St. Thomas, and these incredible speakers give talks. They are like experts on these topics. So some of the people we've gotten, occasionally Jeff Cavins, Deacon Mahalik, if you haven't heard him, which I hadn't heard of him before this program, he is phenomenal. He's one of those speakers where like he talks and you're just like engrossed in it. He's very funny too. There's just so many speakers, a lot of priests and religious, but also laity. So many wonderful, wonderful people. I believe we've at least had Bishop Cousins virtually. And then, oh yeah, for the assignments. So mostly you'll just be doing reading for homework. Each module you just have to write a two-page reflective essay, which, well, okay, so I'm an English major and writing comes easily to me, so I was going to say it's easy, but I mean, it's reflective. They give you some questions to answer, and simple 2 pages. For people who have written dissertations, 2 pages is like a breeze. And that one is also simply graded on completion. It's really cool because they actually, the people who run the program actually do read your papers and give feedback. So that's cool. And also each module we have 1 or 2 retreats, which is just a half-day Saturday morning. And those are phenomenal. On various topics relating to that module of the Catechism. It is such a cool grow in your faith journey, and I've been trying to keep this short, but that's kind of the shortest I can keep it, I think, to get all that information in there. Highly, highly recommend. I guess that means it comes out to, if you do all 4 modules, $1,200, but that's spread out over 2 years, and you learned so much. It's really, really good. So I would solidly suggest this program. If you have more questions about the program, by all means, feel free to contact me. Let's see, I have to figure out how to have people contact me. If you're in St. Lawrence, you can find me on the GroupMe, Sheila S. Otherwise, I could give people my email. So yeah, and I mean, check out cistudent.com. Such a great program. I cannot promote it enough. And I know a lot of people I've been talking to are kind of in a place in the faith journey. They'd just like to grow more in depth and understand a lot more of this stuff. And I mean, I've never read the Catechism before. This book is amazing. And I feel like it's one of those intimidating books where you look at it and you're like, how am I supposed to understand it? But if you do this program, which I am totally just right now like hammering down on, just in your face, do the program, you will not be reading this alone. You will be reading this with fellow Catholics growing in their faith journey, and you will be hearing from experts where they will give talks and have question and answer time. So, such a good program. All right, I'll stop saying that now. But check it out. I'll say one last time, cistudent.com. And if you want to email me, I can try to send out my email. Yeah, to St. Lawrence folks. Okay, that's all. Bye.